Hello everyone. We're just going to continue from where we stopped the other day talking about mortgages, but today we will be talking about looking for the property. By this time you would have got your agreement in principle, which most people would just say AIP. This is what the agent might request of you when you want to view a property with them. Old buildings now, we're not talking of new builds at all. So and there are some properties that were built like maybe 25 years ago, 10 years ago, but they're not same as new build, because new buildings, you're the one moving into it for the first time, and you're probably going to be the one picking everything. Rarely do you have people who they've picked the colors and it didn't go through, that you will have to take up that property. And if you're going to do that, the building contractors and the agents in charge of the new build will definitely give you some money off, or give you things to just encourage you to take that property, because if they know your choices, somebody has picked those colors. Right, we'll go back to old build. Most people go on Rightmove, Zoopla, on the market to look for properties in the area they want. So the agreement in principle is usually how much they would lend you. So you're looking for property within that amount. So for instance, you could be told you get up to 300 for the mortgage lender. So you will look for property not above that. So it's got to be property 300 and below. And because sometimes you might not get that 300, like I said before. So, and then if they were to give you say 280 or that 300, they're expecting you to subtract your deposits. So if you have a deposit of 30,000, 10% of a property worth 300, you might get the agent, they will give you the top up of that. So but let's assume you've already got your AIP, so we're looking for a property to buy. What do you really want to buy? Most people, they have like the must have list and can compromise list. It could be different things in these, right? For example, a must have for me could be, I don't want my bin outside. Some properties in on that street, the way the houses are built, your bin stays outside, or there is no through road from the back to the front where you need to take your bin through. So you're either having the bin in the garage, so you bring it out on the bin days, or you just leave it out front, because there's no way bringing it, you can't bring it through the house in the rooms. So a must have is, my bin needs to be at the back, so there should be a road from front to back of the house where I can take my bins through. And a might compromise could be a downstairs toilet. So if I want a cloakroom downstairs and I can't find a property within my budget that has that, is it gonna change? Is there potential for me to put a downstairs cloakroom by myself? Is it worth it? So you have to look at that. Or can I just totally forget about it? Can my family cope without a downstairs cloakroom, especially if I find a property that really suits me in the area I like? So can we cope? So those are kind of examples of must have and might compromise. So make a list of your must have, make a list of your can compromise, so that when you go looking at these properties, you know what you're actually looking for, or what you can deal with. First off, when you go on the website, say for instance, you go on Rightmove, you find a 3-bedroom property. It's got a garage attached to the property, and no downstairs toilet, but it's got a family bathroom and a shower room in the same a property, you already know what it's got. They've got the measurements on it, they've got the freehold or if it's leasehold, but you haven't seen it. So you really want to go and see it. Sometimes pictures can be very deceptive because it might sometimes make the house really big, rooms big, front yard larger than it seems, or backyard really long and wide. So when you go there, looking at this for yourself will determine, okay, was this just blown out of proportion? Even though it was blown out of proportion, is it okay? Can I deal with this? Can I live here? Is it worth the money that is on it? So when you go viewing a property, first off, you want to ask the seller loads of questions. Even though the property says freehold or leasehold, you still need to ask them, because sometimes properties were leasehold before they were bought to freehold. Now, leasehold is where you have to pay some money, ground rent, and some maintenance fees every year for the property you have bought that is yours. So, but the property is not totally yours, because the ground where your property is a leasehold, so you pay the rent for it. Do you really want to buy that? If not, you're looking at a freehold. A freehold is the property, but the land it's on, everything is completely freehold, is yours. Right. So now that we know the differences with freehold and leasehold, you also want to be sure if this property you're buying, is it going to be flipped, or is it just where you would live forever home? If it's going to be flipped, you need to know, okay, there are some things you can have that you will be able to make do with pending when you flip the house over. That means resell or rent it out and move to your next property. So have it at the back of your mind. Is this my forever home, or do I intend to stay here for a while and then move? Then when it comes to actually viewing this property, first thing, when you get there, I would like to say go at different times. Maybe during the summer, if you're buying a property during the summer, it's really good during the summer, because then you see even the area in its full glory or in its full chaos, because everybody's out and about. But in the winter, everybody's usually indoors. You can't really see what's going on or know how the street is per se. But go to the property, but watch as you go the area. What does the environment look like? Are people leaving stuff around, lying about? What type of street do you think it is from your assessment of the neighborhood? Are there people who are very tidy? Can you see that everybody's front yard is like very well maintained? Are there more property owners living in the street, or is it rented? What kind of rent? Is it just private renters, or is it more like council houses, or council tenants? So you want to look at the area, because sometimes a property might be very, very beautiful on the inside. You've seen the picture obviously on the website of the agent that advertised it, but you need to go and see it in person. Sometimes the property is much more smaller than it appeared on the advert. The yard are a lot longer. Most times they make it really longer and larger than it actually is when you go see it in person. So you need to go see it in person and see if what you see is what you really like. So sometimes the area, they would Photoshop, like crop out anything that would not make the property sell. So if you're going to a property and the environment, maybe your next door neighbor seems really rough, you must ask the seller about it. Who are they? What are they like? Both sides, opposites. What is the street like? So are there any troubling neighbors? Do they make so much noise on a night time or daytime? Are they like in the area? Do you get to see much of the people? So you need to ask those, because even when you sign the documents, there are some inquiries that the solicitor would ask. So, and that includes the noise, the any work on the street, things like that. So when you get there, look at the surrounding of the house, look at the roof, especially the roof. Look at the roof of the property. Does it look very old? Does it look like it's really bad? Is it in a good state? Look at it. Go to the back as well. Look at it. If there is a side door where you go through to the back of the house, go through it. Look at it. If there is a garage in the property, get them to open the garage. Ask them, is it controlled with a remote? Is it electric or is it manual? Look at the inside of it. What kind of things are they using it for? Is it just for storage or is it proper parking?